What is up, YouTube, Pastor Bob? Well, I gotta show you guys this because, you know, as a guitar luthier, as a builder, over the years I have seen, since CNC machines come out, some of the most beautiful guitars at the most decent prices. Now, I know with the tariffs and everything else going on, struggles in China and Indonesia and other places, that prices are going to go up. Get ready. It's going to happen. Don't cry about it. It's just the way it is, right? And I see a lot more American lithias getting on board, trying to figure things out, get CNC machines hooked up, trying to do things at more cost-effective way, So somewhere between 350 and 750. And I think that that's a good idea. But my God, I'm going to show you this guitar, right? And when somebody builds something good, it's just good, right? I don't care where it's made. I don't care about that stuff, all right? Too many people are running around with their thumb in their ass, crying from the mountaintops, trying to say that America is the best at building guitars and there's nothing like America. Look, I own a lot of guitars. American, Mexican, Japanese, Chinese, Booganese, what are these? I mean, I have guitars from all around the world, including building my own guitars, right? And I have built some absolutely magnificent guitars, but it takes so long out of exotic woods, and they cost so much because to source that type of material, the materials that people are asking, costs a lot of money. And the finer the grade, the higher the grade, the rarer the sauce, the more it costs. And by God, I'm not going to do it for nothing. And nobody could. But when you can get a guitar like this, I'm not talking about the case, but just a guitar that's in this case, for under $400, look, you can turn this thing into a monster. I am not, look, I'm not in it to make business anymore. I build a couple guitars here and there. I try to keep them underneath a certain price point only to do it. I'm not making any money. Really, I'm not. I'm not making any money. I mean, if you consider how much a luthier should be making an hour to build a guitar, look. But I'm saying from my point of view, people with CNCs, they got it made, man. I tell you what, if I could turn back time, I would have bought myself one. But I'm getting old now, and investing in a nice CNC machine to do all that stuff, it's just not cost effective. But when you can get a guitar like I'm about to show you, like I said, for between $350 and $450, and you can throw another maybe $400 or $500 worth of parts in it, man, you got a monster. It'll rival any guitar with the same name on the headstock. I'm sure you already figured it out, so I'm just going to open it up. But I got to show you guys this, right? And I'm just being honest. I don't care what Paul Reed Smith says about this and tone woods and that and metal and all that crap. Look, if you're one of those people that are all about the 10%, well, this video is probably not but for you. And y'all can't talk shit to me because you know that I own at least $50,000 in American guitars, right? Built in America. And I can do it myself. So, this video is not for the 10%ers, and I'll explain that in a minute. But most guitars that I've seen from, like, Firefly, we'll use for an example, right? Man, they're building awesome bones. They're using good quality woods. Their CNC is hooked up right to, I mean, look, they got this stuff dialed in. And these guys are masters at what they do. I mean, they do awesome jobs. And the people painting, look, they're masterful at their jobs. They're doing a great job. They really are. I got to hand it to them, right? Just the way it is, you know? If somebody fits the description of being a master or being a professional, then you should give them the title. I don't care where they live. It don't matter to me. I don't play that game. Okay? I'm not fighting a war. It's not what I'm doing. I'm talking about guitars. So let me show you this. Look at this thing. I got to pull this up. So I bought a I'll show you. I bought a Chibson years ago, right? Had a broken headstock. Guy said, "Oh, just give me 100 bones for it." I said, "Okay." I fixed it up, and I put Chibson on the headstock, right? Look, guys, these guys are getting really good at this stuff. Look at this. That inlay work is getting good, guys. I mean, like, I got schmug on it, but I mean, look at this rosewood fingerboard. And the frets. Look, I got a Gibson. I got brand new over there, and I will tell you that the frets on this are about comparable to that. Now, are they sharp? No. Could I dress them up better? Absolutely. But did they do a great job? Come on now, guys. They did a nice job in the paint job. Look at that. I mean, the overall quality of this thing. A buddy of mine was telling me, "Hey, you should really think about buying one of the new ones." I'm like, "Dude, I got enough guitars." He goes, "Bro, I'm telling you." So he hooked me up with this company, and I bought one, right? Now, I know that the pots are probably not top end, and the switch is probably not top end. I got all that stuff, guys. You guys know, if you've been to my channel for a while, you know I got all the top end parts, right? I got custom wound pickups, humbuckers that are $400 that I could slam in this thing and make this thing come to life, right? It's not an issue. Now, I think this is only a 2-piece body. 3-piece. 1, 2, and I don't see a line over here. So I think it's a 3-piece body on this one. Okay? Look at that heel joint. Did a nice job on that, right? I mean, I was looking at this. I said, "Man, I wonder if this is coming out of the same plant as those fireflies." Because, man, it absolutely looks nice. Now, if I want to get picky, I can see something here. Now, you see this glue? This glue ran in, and then they put the finish over the top of that glue. You see that? That's the only thing that I really... And there's a little dot right there. Outside of that... Now, you see how they push this in? I hate to tell you, but Gibson does it different. They put it in, and then they put their finish coat over the top of it. But I can tell you right now, if you're masterful, you could take this off. You could measure what the exact size is for a Gibson, and you can reproduce it. It would take you a lot of time, but you could do it. It's not that hard. that's not the point of this guitar. The machine heads feel okay, for what they are. But you could easily replace them with some nice Clusons. But for the bones, I mean, who in the hell out there is going to tell me? And we're not even talking about this, right? We're not talking about the whole Gibson thing. That's cool, right? Whatever. Everybody knows I own a ton of Gibsons, right? That's not the point of this. I'm not trying to be a front. I'm not trying to front something that is not real. That's not the idea of this. Okay, and that's not why I purchased it. I purchased it because my buddy said, you got to see the quality, and he's right, right? He's absolutely right. The quality is there. Now, can you put a real, ABR bridge on there and tailpiece and, upgrade the potentiometers? I'm thinking all this stuff, right? I'm saying, well, that is a possibility. I think, some nice Burns pots and CTS, or CTS pots, a good input jack and toggle switch, and a set of really super nice custom wound pickups in this thing would look. I would say this guitar is right along the same quality as, and I'm just talking at the bottom of the barrel here. And I'm not being fictitious when I say this. The Gibson Light guitars, I don't know if you guys seen them, the Gibson Lights. Look, it's as good as that. I mean, there's a few things that I think need to be done, I like frets a certain way. Even though it's bound, I like frets a certain way. So that will be addressed. I will put different machine heads on here only because I'm picky to that. It isn't that they don't work. It's just I'm picky to that. This is a plastic nut. It has to be a bone nut or a composite nut, right? Plain and simple. I'm just picky to it. But I have all the stuff to make this guitar worthy of that name. Worthy of it. Now, I have ordered the correct the correct headstock logo for this. And I'm going to see if I can, how I'm going to place it. But I ordered an actual Chibson headstock logo. I think I might put it alongside here, or I might put it on a truss rod cover or something like that. Only because if I kick the bucket and I still have it in my collection, I want to make sure that, my kids understand. Or my family understands, or my grandkids understand. So they're not looking stupid. But yeah, I'm just... Oh my God, has the world changed, right? I got a lawsuit guitar downstairs, right? From Japan. It's worth a lot of money, believe it or not. And it's a turd bucket compared to this. I'm not even lying. I mean, look. It's a toad... Absolutely, it's a turd floating in the toilet bowl compared to this. Alright? This is on another level, right? And I'm just going to hand it to them. And I say that the companies, if they're going to sell these guitars for this price because of that name, I tell you guys something. If you're building this quality guitar and you're doing that, don't do that. If you like the font, okay, if the font gives you a boner in your pants, then, by God, make a name that looks close to it, but not Gibson. Even Bernie did that, right? Bernie Guitars has that font. Do something with that nice font, right? And then come up with a different logo for here, right? You know, I don't know. And then put Platinum on there if you want. La Platinum model. And then put a different name on there. Like Excel or Elixir or something like that, you know? But be proud of what you're doing. Put your name on it. If you're happy with what you're doing and what you're producing, which you should be because this is a good quality guitar, right? Do that. Be proud of your work. Why do you want to give gratification? And I don't care if they're being made in China or Indonesia or where the hell they're being made. I don't care. But the Chinese people, I don't think they figured it out yet. All right? We know here in America and across, all the different countries now, you can make good instruments. And if you can make good instruments consecutively, why in the hell do you want to just keep paying tribute to Gibson? Gibson makes great guitars and they make poop guitars. Every company does. I think the only company that doesn't really fall into that category as much is Paul Reed Smith. And don't get me started on why. I'm just saying Paul has worked hard over the years. And look, he's got a masterful mind. I don't always agree with everything, so I can agree to disagree. I don't always agree with all the Tonewood thing, okay? I don't. That's just me. All right? And I build guitars too. All right? Is it true in acoustics? Is it true that different woods vibrate differently? Absolutely. But I'm going to tell you guys, there's nothing that electronics can't fix, right? And can't enhance today. So, But if you're just cut and dry and you ain't got a bunch of pedals going and stuff like that, yeah, I would say that, there is different resonances in different woods. But does it make that much of a difference? Probably not. Okay? Durability wise, absolutely. Different woods do matter for the durability of something. I absolutely agree with that part. Right? What matters is your electronics. And like I tell most of the new guys, when they ask me, Pastor Bob, what do you think? I said, look, man, buy an inexpensive guitar and work on it. Right? Learn about the guitar if this is your first time. Learn about these instruments, right? But the biggest thing is making sure that you have a good amplifier. Okay? Plain and simple. And I believe that there's different amps for different things, right? So, I'll just show you my mess. And people probably wonder, why is this room a mess? I'm going to tell you why. Because soon, this room is not going to be shared with my bed anymore. Because I'm cutting a hole in the wall over there and I'm combining the whole upstairs. And we're going to have two king-size beds on one side. And then I'm going to have, where this wall is right here, I'm knocking this wall out. And I'm going to put pocket doors in. There's a closet on the other side. There's a 3-foot closet. I'm knocking that out. And I'm extending this. And what's going to happen is I'm going to put a big, huge TV on the other side. And only dressers and the beds are going to be in there. That's it. And a small fridge. That's all that's going to be in there. It's going to be nice and clean and neat. And probably have pictures on the walls and stuff. But that's about it. This room is going to be dedicated to only doing watch reviews, guitars, and coins. That's it. I'm going to have a chair probably in the corner, and that's it. I'm going to have different stations for different things in here. So if you're wondering why this room's a mess and I haven't picked it up, well, now you know the reason. Anyway, let me get to this point. So, I know this video is going to be a little long, but I wanted to explain this. So I have an original first year Fender Hot Rod Deluxe right there. Love the amp. Good for just about anything. If you want an all-around amp that'll do just about anything that you want it to do, look, can't go wrong. And I think you could ask just about anybody in the music business, Fender Hot Rod Deluxe. I think they run around $1,000 now. Down there, that's a Performer 650. That's a hybrid. Okay, so the preamp in there has a tube, right? It has a 6AX7, I think, in there or something like that. I'm pretty sure that's what that has. Now, I have the brother to that, too, the big brother. So I have a Performer 1000. And that Performer 1000 is so freaking loud. I mean, it is like, it'll blow you right out of the room, right? People don't know about them. There's not a lot of them left around. But I have both of them. I have the 650 and the 1000. Great amps. Have no problem with them. Over there, my PV, Valve King. And it's a valve amp. Great amplifier. It will definitely do the job. And out front, PV Classic 50. So, I got other amps in here. I got a Boss Katana up there. I can't remember what's in that box, to be honest with you. But I've got amps everywhere, guys. It really depends on, what my thing is. But the amps make the difference, right? The amps and your pedal board, right? Here's my pedal board. Soldano Super Lead, Motone compressor, a Boss distortion pedal, a Trio band creator, and a Ulysses drum machine. That's really all I need. Now, do I have more? Yeah, got 3 full PA systems downstairs. So I can really mix it and make it happen. But I'm old. I don't go out and gig and all that stuff anymore. I don't do that stuff. I'm just chilling at the house, right? I think what the thing that I'm trying to tell you is, like I tell the younger guys, worry about this stuff. Worry about getting your amps right. If you can pick one of these up and you're a young guy, right? Maybe you can't do the work, okay? But you can pick one of these up for $350, right? Buy yourself a case for $100, right? You're in it for $450, right? Save up your money. Buy yourself a set of, I don't know, Seymour Duncans or Protones or whatever you want to buy for pickups, right? Listen to a few guys in their videos. Look, it's not going to be exactly the same because there's a lot of things that play into that. The biggest thing is your amplifiers and your pedals, right? That's the big thing, guys, okay? But if you can pick one of these up, and maybe you don't know how to do the work, maybe you're scared you're going to screw it up, right? Save up your money, get with a local guitar tech, a luthier, right? Guys who have been doing it for a long time, and say, hey, I bought this guitar, I've been playing it, but I've been saving up, and I want to have a new set of pickups and potentiometers put in. A switch and an output jack. Or you go in and say, oh, I just want to have frets done and have it set up. Get that done. Then you go back another time and you have a set of pickups and pots put in and, 3-way toggle switch and output jack. And then another time you go in and you say, okay, well, I want to have new machine heads put in it. Okay? By the time you get done, you'll probably be in it for less than $1,000 for the guitar, right? And you'll have a great guitar. And if you get a wood in your pants over that Gibson name, well, so be it. It won't ever be a Gibson. But if you don't care and you're not going to sell it, I don't think it's right to steal other people's names. I don't get it. That's why I said Chinese people need to just put their own name on it. If they're doing this good of a job, don't give other props to other people. Look, they already got their own props. They already made their own way. They already paved their own way for generations upon generations, right? They know the deal. Make your own stuff with your own name. That's what I'm saying. But if this is the thing that you want to do, then do it. It's cheaper to do it this way. And I would say even less expensive than this, if you're not hype about the name, buy a Firefly guitar. Try them out. They're not that expensive. Look, I'm not sponsored by them. I try to get sponsored by them, but, they shrug you off unless you got a whole bunch of flowers. And I'm not all about that. I still buy guitars because I care about the people that come to my channel. I truly do. I want to give them information. I don't have to have all these guitars. And I still own all these guitars. This year I'm going to sell a few. I want to sell off a few so I can make some money and maybe buy a couple more and bring them to the channel. Okay? Because I got too many guitars. I got 169 guitars. I got too many. So, where was I at? Yeah, Firefly. They make some great starter LPs under $300. You could put some, really good pickups in it and really good pots and stuff. I mean, you could just play the thing and it plays all right. I think I've only had 2 bad ones in about 28 guitars I've ever bought. Really. So, can't go wrong. And I don't buy them because I need them. If I really want a really, really super nice LP style, I will go out in my shop and I'll build one myself. People have probably been asking themselves that question. I do this and I buy Gibsons and stuff more as an investment. Pretty much. But if I really wanted to spend a couple of years and I really wanted to dial in on everything and make, a super LP, it would take me a lot of time and a lot of money to resource the types of materials that I would really want for that particular guitar. I know that probably seems really strange, but yeah. To build a really, really nice guitar costs a lot of money. I mean, to build a really nice guitar with the top of the top quality materials. Only because that's what I would want. If you want the best, you got to have the best woods. The best that you can buy, that money can buy. And I'm telling you, the best woods that money can buy are not being built by Gibson. Unless they are really expensive, right? Paul Reed Smith the same way. You want top notch? You want 5A or 7A or 10A? You're going to pay big bucks. Because first off, it's hard to sort out that type of wood. And secondly, you got to know exactly what you're doing, right? You got to know your shit. I'm just going to be totally frank and honest. You have to. Because there's no room for mistakes. Not when you're dealing with wood. There's no room for mistakes. So it's not for a novice to just take on. Unless you have an engineer's mind and you have all of the correct equipment and you have patience of gold, I would not take it on. Trying to make the most top-notch, top-quality guitar. But even though you have the best of the woods that money can buy, doesn't mean that it's going to sound any better than if you put a nice set of pickups in here and good hardware when you plug it in. And that's the point I'm trying to make. Is it right to put the Gibson name up there? No. Is it going to make the guitar sound any better? No. What makes this guitar sound good or bad is the way it's set up and the type of hardware they're using. So if the bones are good, you can change the hardware, set it up yourself, and rock on. So, what's my final thoughts? Man, what can I say? I'm going to change stuff on this. I'm going to bring this to the next level, right? To what I would consider, I think Gibson would be proud of putting a check mark next to. And I've had enough and fixed enough Gibsons to know that, yeah, they have quality issues from time to time, but they're getting better too. Okay, this ain't the 1960s, 70s, and 80s, and 90s where, things were different. We got new technology. You don't think that Gibson has that stuff? You better believe they do. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with the purchase. But I am going to hot rod this bad boy. I am. And then, once I get it all done, I'll do another video for you guys, and I'll play the guitar for you. That's a promise I'll make to you. But I am going to put a Chibson sticker up there somewhere. I already ordered them. Alright, guys. Sorry for my rant and my rave. I just wanted to show you this guitar and see what you thought of it. I think it's kind of cool. They did a great job. But like I said, guys in China, if you're watching this video, dudes, put your own name up there. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of being a Chinese person making quality guitars. Right? When I make a guitar, I'm pretty proud of it. Because I know what it's like to sand. Of course, I'm doing it in a little, small shop of my own. But I know what it's like to sand and sand and sand and sand and more sand. And then you get to the point where you're like, shit, I'm tired of sanding. I'm serious. There's nothing worse than sanding. Being a sanding guy at Gibson must suck. I'm just saying. Because I wouldn't want to sand every day and do it every day. Sand it. Painting is a tricky thing, right? Painting is tricky. Get it too thick, it runs. Get it too thin, it doesn't set right. You don't fill the pores right. That's the biggest thing. Is making sure you put your filler in the pores to get a nice finish like this. Otherwise, you're always going to see the grain patterns. Didn't know if you guys knew that, so I figured I'd tell you. I like grain myself, so it doesn't really bother me, but yeah. Takes a lot when you're doing it by yourself in your own little shop, and you really want it to look good. Because it's never going to be good enough. Any guitar tech and any really professional luthier will tell you it's never going to be good enough for us. Never. We're always going to be on edge. Are we going to be proud of it? Yeah. But is it ever going to be good enough? Look, there's always room for improvement. Always. Always room for improvement. And with that, that's it, guys. I wanted to bring it to you. Take care. God bless. We'll see you in the next video. Please like, share, subscribe. I'm Pastor Bob, and I'm out of here. See ya.